I said I was not going to talk as much about my personal life as I'm trying to help others. If I do, it's for reasons of comparison. But these are things that I'm working out in my own life. But I thought this was important, so I wanted to share it. I had a dream, and I want to talk about it because I want you to see how neuroplasticity is changing me, how it's rewiring and changing my thoughts. So, if you've been coming to this channel for a while, then you know that I had a really bad childhood. And the thing about that is that my foundation was not the best. My mother was everything anti-mothering, if you could call it that. I'm just going to generalize it. It was other things too that stuck with me. I have this deep-rooted uh, subconscious fear of not having food because she never went to the grocery store. So I was hungry a lot and worried about food and had no way to get food. And because I was a child living in her house, I just said I wasn't old enough to know how these things work or to procure these things. But when I say she never went to the grocery store, what I'm saying is I look back on it and it was like premeditated, if that makes any sense, behavior. Like she would buy just enough food, but she'd buy things that I didn't like, or, and I wasn't picky like that, but she just did things to let me know the atmosphere in that house was set up for me to know that I was a burden. I was not welcome. I was a financial burden. I was an emotional burden. I was just in the way. And what do you do with the human being that's in the way? So this is what she did. So she failed me miserably as far as the foundation goes. It'll take me a minute to get through this because I'm not trying to go into the specifics of what happened. But I'll say this. The other night I had a dream. In this dream, she served me a big, beautiful platter of crab legs and lobster tails. And it actually was king crab and lobster tails. Mind you, I've never had king crab at all, but I do like lobster. But the point was that she served me on this platter like we were at a dinner table, and I was welcome to the food. And that is the first time I felt like in my waking life, I never felt it. But in that dream, I could feel that I was, from her, that I was welcome to this food. So I'm glad I didn't dismiss this dream because it's a chance to discuss with you about it's a message from a deeper intelligence within me. And I wanted to let it register in my nervous system that I was served, I was welcome, and I wanted to anchor that feeling. And now what I took away is that I am the one who gets to serve myself with generosity, beauty, abundance, and belonging. Because that dream was a turning point, and I'm going to treat it like one. Dreams reflect neural pathways being pruned or strengthened. And that is, as I keep saying, the key to neuroplasticity. I realized long ago that I was carrying layers upon layers of trauma, years of starvation, not just physical, as I explained, but emotional. But that dream wasn't random. That was my nervous system finally getting a symbol of the nourishment that I was denied. So I want to Try to unpack it a little bit, because this isn't just about food or dreams or abuse or anything like that. It's about healing the original wound. When I said my mother withheld care and instead I got neglect, I was shamed and I was hungry and I felt abandoned. That burned into my child memory, my nervous system as a child. It set the tone for what I expected from the world, which is, I am not worth being fed. I'm an embarrassment. I will never be enough. That's the wound. In the dream, she makes these crab legs and lobster, and the luxury and the abundance and attention to detail is what struck me. She didn't hesitate, and she served it to me freely and warmly. This is the reversal. My brain is reworking the storyline. But here's the key. The dream isn't about her changing. It's about me changing. It's my psyche reclaiming a version of her that could have loved me. Not because she was capable of being that woman, but because I am ready to receive what I always needed, even if it has to come through a dream. So I grew up in emotional famine. My brain stored survival patterns. I expect rejections, expect coldness. I don't ask to be fed. I don't need anything. That dream is in my mind breaking that loop. What if I was welcomed? What if I could receive? What if I didn't have to starve anymore? See, it's not my mother making amends. It's my subconscious feeding the part of me that was never fed. That platter, it's not the food. It's permission to exist. It's the offering my inner child deserved since day one. So I want you to know this is neuroplasticity in action. I'm not just rewiring my thoughts. You're not just rewiring your thoughts. I am reclaiming my voice. You are reclaiming your voice. You are honoring what mattered to the version of you who was never seen or served. I'm honoring what mattered to the version of me that was never seen or served. That dream wasn't weakness, it was proof. The inner landscape is shifting. The hunger is being answered. I don't get this off the top of my head. Research supports the idea that dreams help process emotionally intense experiences so one can move forward. Neuroplasticity is highly active during REM sleep, when most vivid dreams occur. The brain rehearses and rewires during sleep. It literally prunes away any outdated connections and strengthens newer ones during sleep. Dreams serve as repetition-based stimulation that shape the neural architecture the same way a waking experience does. Dreams live, so to speak, in the emotional memory networks, not just visuals, not just as visuals, but as neural associations. A dream can show you what your brain is rehearsing, releasing, or reshaping. And sometimes they echo the trauma. So, just wanted to say that dreams are not random. They're internally generated stimulations made possible by the brain's plastic/changeable architecture. Dreams are the brain's way of processing and rewiring. They don't float in from outside, they're built from within. When you start thinking differently through rewiring, your brain starts building differently. Your dreams show the inner construction site. What was once fear or hunger may be getting rewritten into worthiness, power, and even closure. Oftentimes, they're rehearsals of who you're becoming. In either case, they are proof of an inner architect at work. A thought repeated during the day creates a new neural connection. Then a dream is the brain rehearsing that connection in silence. Your dream life is not random. It's your mind remodeling the house behind the scenes. I keep saying this because I'm trying to really just leave the imprint on you that rewiring works without you don't have to constantly do it. Making the initial effort is what helps. And it's almost like you set something in motion. Well, it's not like almost, you have set something in motion. You are sending your neural pathways on a different route, establishing different thoughts. So when I dream the person who once starved me in more ways than one is offering me a feast, that's a rewiring cue. That's my brain saying, you no longer need to live in emotional famine. And that's your rewire for the day. If this resonates with you, you no longer need to live in emotional famine. Or as you should say it to yourself, I no longer need to live in emotional famine. So I hope this helps someone. I know that it's proof to me that I'm feeling better. I can feel like some type of weight has lifted off of me. As I go with these rewire cues, the longer I work with them, I find that there's this heavy weight, if I can't find any other description for it, that is lifting off of me. And it becomes easier for me to live in the right now moment and not the past or in the future about what if. So, talk to you next video.